and she's really, really nice lady, and she's kind of like a take no guff type of teacher, you know, and she doesn't smile very much, but she's really great teacher. Whenever she was there with the kids, they all listened a lot and they had a good time. Anyway, so we were getting coffee in the break room first thing in the morning, waiting for the coffee to brew, and I said good morning, and she said good morning, and then she said something in Ojibwe. And I was trying to figure out what she said, and I was trying to say, you know, like, are you saying it's nice weather? And she says, no, I just said it's really early. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. It's not an easy language, that's for sure. How's everybody else? Doing good? School going okay there, Canada? Nice to not be on the computer, eh? I'm doing a film shoot with a film crew from Durham College, and it's going to be next week at the session at Dorokeo's on the Thursday. There's Jerome. He's making a boat out of a Diet Coke bottle. Anyway, they're in their fourth year. They're in their last year of film studies up at Durham College. And the last almost 2 years have been virtual, so they haven't been able to use any equipment or do any shooting or anything like that. And like the girl that was supposed to be the sound engineer, I had to tell her what a condenser microphone was. And she's in her last year. I feel so bad because they pay good money and they did whatever they could, but I mean, they're going to graduate. Anyway, so it'll be a very interesting night next Thursday. I told her not to worry about it because my buddy Brian's going to be there, and he's an engineer, and I made him take the Hippocratic Oath of Sound Engineers, which is he has to help if he can help. So we should be okay. Anyway, I'm going to start this recording here.
Recording in progress.
There we go.
So Dan, are you doing sessions there every Thursday night now?
Yeah, the weekly Thursday session hasn't started yet, but we're doing the last Thursday of every month is my band, North Atlantic Drift. We did it last month, and it was it was so awesome. 6 solid hours of music, and then everybody stayed after that for a good long while as well. It was like it's just like the old days. The nice thing is that everybody had to be vaxxed to get in there. And so we felt a lot more comfortable, and the flutes and the whistles came out and stuff like that. And so it was a pretty great night. And I was there on Sunday, yesterday. It was also a great session. It went until about 9 o'clock at night, started at 4:30. And so I expect the 28th is going to be big, because the capacity limits are going to be eliminated on the 25th. And she'll be able to have 100% capacity in the bar. So because everybody will be vaxxed. So I expect it's going to be quite a night. But then pretty soon she'll start the every Thursday session. And yes, I will be leading that every Thursday. And of course, you're all welcome to come. It's a great bar. Really great bar. All right, shall we get warmed up?
It floats.
It floats. Right on. You going to try putting some weight in it and stuff like that?
Not until I decorate it.
Okay, decorate it, fill up the tub, start your experimentation process.
I'm not doing the tub, I'm using the sink. It's already full.
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool.
Full of cold water.
Okay, so let's warm up a little G major scale, shall we? Let me turn my tuner on so I don't trust myself. Okay, here we go. Ready, scale. try the old arpeggio, shall we? Ready, go. All right, now let's try a little bit of G major in thirds. All right, I was helping somebody with thirds the other day. It's such a good thing to do. So let's do that. So it sounds like this. All the way up, okay? And we'll just take her nice and easy, and then we'll try it a little faster and see how it goes. Ready, go. How did everybody get along with the G major in thirds? Pretty good? Pretty good. Okay, now let's up the tempo, all right? Let's up the tempo a little bit, see if we can make it a little harder. My C was flat, by the way, on the A string, so try to be critical of yourself. Okay, let's do it. A 1, 2, 3, go. Flat one and a sharp one that time. I had a flat C again, even though I told you guys I was flat before. I still was flat, just one. And then my B on the G string was sharp. Okay, so those two things sucked about mine. How about you guys? Did it do pretty good? Medium or good success rate or medium? Let's do it.
Easier going up than down, but it got better the second time going down.
Now, one thing that helps with the going down is those drop downs. They're really, really useful for the going down of the scale because, especially the third finger ones, if you get those third finger ones, it really lines up your fingers nicely. All right, so that's a way to strengthen that. But you're right, typically going down is a lot rougher than going up. Okay, let's do it again right away. Before we do that, I'm going to send Pearl and Jay an invite in case they got confused about the link. And also, I owe Claire a bunch of tunes. So 1 sec here. J, K, and Pearl. There, okay. And then you can remind me of the tunes after we try this once more there, Claire. All right, same speed. I'm going for 100% now. A 1, 2, 3, go. much better that time. So that time my B on the A string moved just before I was finished playing it. And that was it. That was the only problem. So did you guys get a better result that time too? That's great. Excellent. All right. Now let's see. What tunes are we working on these days in and around that key? Let me see what I owe Claire here. You sent me a list there, Claire. Drunken Landlady. Oh, Carolyn's Draft. We should practice that. What a great tune. Okay, let me see. I'm just gonna... And it's in G. Perfect. Okay. Let's send that to Claire. Here it is here. Okay, Claire, you should have that now. And then the Drunken Landlady we were playing last night at the session, and it was pretty hot and heavy, I have to say. Drunken Landlady. There we go. Drunken Landlady. Yeah. Forward this to you too. Okay, that'll do for a start. So, O'Carolyn's Draft. Beautiful, beautiful tune from a long, long time ago. Let's see here. Okay. It. And it's a good version too, offthesession.org. I went through a couple of them, but it's a good one. I have the book. I have O'Carolyn's book here. It's a really, really good book to have. You can get it from Paul Cranford's website. And what I love about the O'Carolyn book is that there's no end of really neat tunes, little tunes that are not too hard. And when I was on tour, me and my friend Dan Payne from Newfoundland, we used to just open it up and just read random tunes. Really nice. Have you got that up there, Claire? Great. Okay, so shall we give it a go? Let's go nice and easy, not too fast, and see if we can get through it. Okay, I got it over here. I got you guys over here. And it's perfect. And it's not a fast tune anyway. It's a medium tune. So we'll take it about this speed. Okay, 1, 2, 3. now I'll check in. Let's see. How are people feeling about O'Carolyn's draft? Any questions, queries, problems, or concerns? It's pretty straightforward too. Yes.
Is the B part played twice?
Oh, usually yes. I noticed that
Okay.
it's not. In my experience, yes. But I also see that the first part is half as long as the second part. So, you know, but I've played this tune a lot with a lot of people, and I've always repeated it. So, you know, leave it open. But we'll repeat it if only just for the practice. That part and the second part with the octaves there, the octaves and then the sevenths, such good practice, my God. And then this whole G to B thing and the F to B thing, those shapes for your hand on the way down there are really, really good to have. Really good. They come in handy lots of tunes. And also it's a kind of an exercise in intonation and sound quality because it's just basically just a big scale, right? But if you get it in tune, and if you make a nice sound with your bow, it turns into something really nice. And also dynamics. And we haven't talked a lot about dynamics. It's kind of like the old drummer joke, eh? Dynamics! I'm playing as loud as I can! Anyway, they're certainly in a tune like this. Like I'm a very dynamic player. I play with a lot of dynamics. Some people use more or less. But in a tune like this, it's important to use a lot. First of all, just because in the slower ones, it becomes more important to use dynamics because otherwise it gets a bit boring, eh? It gets a bit long in the tooth if you don't have something going on. Now, my wife talks about lengths of notes and stuff like that, and I love this idea. She talks about how when you play a solo, every note should have an arc. It should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. See that? Now, I totally agree with that. Of course, you can't concentrate on that with every eighth note you play in this music, but you can on the long ones. Okay? So I would play, if I would open up this tune, it would be like... Now, did you hear those swells in there? And the way that I'm doing that is very simple. Speed of bow. I quicken my bow a little bit. Here's how that works there. And also you can add, that's when I start to add my little bit of vibrato. Ooh, nice flag. You can show these guys if you want. Yes. It's going to go into testing. I'm going to get some weight. You don't want to sink it? You can come close. You use the wrenches in my box there. Anyway, so yeah, so if I were to open up that tune, that's the way I would do it. I would put an arc on those. Oh, there's Simone. Yay. Put an arc on those notes and swell into the vibrato. That's what my brother Sean used to say all the time. Swell into the vibrato. I really think it works really well. See that? And put a tail on it. So nice. Okay? So the best way to practice dynamics when you're first trying to put them into a tune is to exaggerate it. All right? So exaggerate that bow speed. Hey, Simone. Hey, hey. And we'll see how it goes. Okay? Let's do it again. We're going to try to really be dynamic. Oh, but let me give you a plan. Because there's no point in saying dynamics if you don't have a plan. So let's see. So I'm going to start it off. Little softer. And then when I go to play the first phrase again, I'm going to be a little bit bolder with that again. And since this phrase is a little longer, I keep that intensity going a little bit longer as well. There's Jay. Hey, everybody's going to be here. So I keep that going right until I start coming down. And then the response to all that is very subdued. See that? I'll show you that again. Little softer. Little bolder. That's a good plan. You know, you don't need a good plan. You just need a plan. Your boat sunk? It's okay. It's just the deck's awash. That's no big deal.
I'll dry it off.
Okay. So, let's try it, okay? This is O'Carolyn's draft there, Simone, if you were wondering, which I'm sure you were. And we're trying to introduce some dynamics. And I was saying just before you came on there that you get swells in your volume from your violin by using more bow. So you speed up your bow and it makes the notes swell out. Okay, and that's what we're going to work on. Combined with a little vibrato, it's really, really nice. Now in the second part, let's wing it for the second part, and that way I'll notice what I'm doing and then we can try it again. So we got a good plan for the first part. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm getting a good idea of my plan here in the second part. And you guys can hear it too. So kind of a, they call it mezzo forte, is medium loud. Okay? And you guys, I'm sure you guys have heard those old Italian, describers for dynamics. You got piano, which means soft, and forte, which means loud, and then mezzo piano or mezzo forte, which means medium. And that's kind of most of the time. And then you got forte, double forte, which is fortissimo, really loud, and double piano, which is, really soft. So anyway, so we start this whole second part off, I would say MF, mezzo forte. And then as we start to climb up, I get a little bit more intense. Did you hear that? As you start to climb up to the high B. But then when I come to those arpeggios, I drop it right down. And it's so that you can hear it clearly against all that scaly stuff. I want that to kind of be contrasted, right? When I get to that third line there, it's kind of back to mezzo, mezzo forte, back to kind of normal. But then when I start to do that ascending thing at the end, I start to make that bolder and bolder, a big, what they call a crescendo, getting louder all the way along. Okay, so that's my plan. Now, it doesn't have to be your plan, but it is a plan, and it would definitely work. Yes, Susan?
When are you throwing in the vibrato?
I throw in vibrato about halfway through a long note. And as I'm speeding up my bow, I give it a little wiggle. Now, you know, in the Scottish Irish, we only ever give it a couple of little wiggles. So you be sparing with it. But like, so I'll give you an example so you hear this. So all that, I'm not even using it, because there's not really time. So maybe I'll use the first part. See, you hear that little wiggle at the end? Just like that. I also intensify that as I go along. But it's no more than 2 or 3 usually. Okay? Shall we try it again now that we have a plan for the second part? I think so. Let's give it a go. High J. Okay, I'm going to exaggerate like crazy. I'm going to be musical theater over here. 1, 2, 3. Did we already repeat that? Okay. That's enough draft. Okay, so how are we feeling? Anybody getting anywhere with the dynamics and the nice sound and all that kind of stuff? You think so? That's great. Okay, if anybody wants to make a video of that for me and send it to me for feedback, I would just love that, okay? It would be great because I can help you with your sound production. I can tell you how you sound and how you can make it better, what might be going on if you don't think you sound very good, and tell you if you're getting anywhere with those dynamics. Because sometimes with dynamics, it's really hard to know whether you're actually doing it in the moment or not, you know? You might think you are, but only a tiny little bit is coming out in my experience. So I can help with that too. All right? Any other questions or anything about O'Carolyn's draft or comments or complaints? My wife complains about O'Carolyn. She doesn't like him too much. She thinks he's the Irish Mozart. Because I don't know if you know much about Mozart, but it's also very scaly and arpeggio-y, you know? And people say that about him. Like back in those days was the beginning of scales and arpeggio. So he just kind of used the idea and took off, you know what I mean? But anyway, so she complains about O'Carolyn, but there you go. Okay, how about Drunken Landlady? And it was a whole set, right? It was the I can't remember the order now, but it was a funny story. It was she was the drunken landlady and lost the bar and wound up as a barmaid or maid behind the bar. And then at the end, because of the experience, she became wise, right? And she became the wise maid. That's right. All right, well, let's do that. So you got that drunken landlady now, Claire? Great.
How long will you be, Dad?
Well, I'm going to be a bit, but Mom will be home soon. Why do you ask?
I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Okay, you doing some more tests with your boat?
Well, pretty much figured out how much weight it can hold
How much weight can it hold?
itself.
That's it?
Yeah. I added on a crayon.
Has she sunk? Oh. Why don't you fill up the tub, see how it does in the stormy seas?
Don't really. Or.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
about a penny? Do they have pennies anymore? A penny or a nickel?
Yeah,
Try
we
a
have
coin at a
change.
time.
Go get the jar of change. See how much change you can get on there before it sinks.
And then when it was weighted by the water.
Of course. It got capsized. Yeah, he's gonna try the change. Good idea there, Bev. Okay, drunken landlady. Let's get her up here. Drunken. Okay. So we'll do them each twice. Is plenty. Otherwise, it gets a bit long-winded. And then the maid behind the bar and the wise maid. Okay, let's do it. So let's try maybe about this. Somewhere about there, I think. We'll give it a try anyway, see how it goes. I think that's slightly faster than we did it in the past, but I think we'll be all right. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Wasn't actually, it was kind of slow. I think that was kind of slow. I wouldn't mind speeding it up a tiny bit. How do you guys feel? Simone, you made a very frightened face when I said that.
I just need to practice more. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't mind doing it slow a few more times, especially I think it's new to Claire too. Claire, do you want to? Are you able to see it? Do you want me to share my screen or anything like that?
I can see it. Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Well, why don't we take it slow a couple more times then? Because I think it's new, a little bit new, or old made new again. So we'll try it slow a couple of more times, and then we'll try up in the tempo. Okay. And again, this is one of those tunes where putting one finger on two strings is going to be really useful. Okay, half the tune. Okay, let's try. 1, 2, 3. Little Master. Little Master. Okay, so how did we do when it got fast? Claire, I understand we will address your issues and we will get that tune under your fingers, but I know it's kind of brand new for you. But what about everybody else? How did you do with the fast? Anybody want to make a comment?
Managed fine.
Oh, great, Jay. Right on.
Good. Yep.
Good, good.
But my bandwidth is bad here tonight, so it's a little bit hit and miss sometimes. So maybe I didn't manage it all. It just sounded like it.
Well, that's it. You're getting somewhere. That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Sue?
I'm staying in longer than I used to, so that means I'm getting faster. So
That's
I'm not in
great.
the whole, I'm not in the whole time, but I'm jumping in when I can. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, keep jumping in that skipping rope. That's really good. That's really good. Did anybody notice I put a little different ornament in there? In the first part, and it's a very common ornament to do in this tune. So it gets a little bit boring with the B to the E roll, right? Because it's over and over and over. So many of my compatriots, including myself, have musical ADD, and so we get bored with that, so we do something else. So the third time you're supposed to do that B to the E roll, a really cool thing to do is replace that whole bit by a roll followed by a grace note. So it sounds like this. See that? So I'm making a B roll, and then I'm following it with a B. And then when you look at the melody there's a B that starts the next half of the measure. See that? And I do a grace note between them, so it ends up sounding like this. And it's a really cool ornament cluster, what they call an ornament cluster. When you do it up to speed, anyway, see that? Chirpy, chirpy, chirp. So that's what I'm doing there. Interesting thing to try. The nice thing about it is that nobody ever does it except for that fourth time through with that B to the E roll. That's the only time anybody ever puts it in there. So it's kind of like it's a goal of one time per part. If you wanted to try putting it in there. In the second part, I got some double stopping, eh? It's just this whole thing where if I'm playing on the A, go over to the E and don't really leave the A. See, like just like that, just gently. Also that one. And then in the second part there, I'm doing this thing, I'm doing a grace note on the E, and then on the F, an undercut, and then another grace note. Very, very cool, very common. You see it more times than you might think. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing there, guys, if you wanted to try a couple of those things. Shall we try it one more time? All right? Let's do it actually 2 more times, and the second time I'm going to push you again. Okay? And Claire, you're going to follow the music and imagine your fingers doing that B to the E. The thing for you to focus on would be that opening phrase, because you can see how many times it's repeated. Just that B to the E roll and the 4 notes that come after. Okay? Okay. Yeah, hey, that looked good. Nice flicky. Let's do it. Not too fast. 1, 2, 3. hanging in, looks like. Not too bad. Very, very good. Okay, shall we try Made Behind the Bar? Might as well. Let me get that one up here.
And how fast was that last one? How many beats per minute do you think that was?
That was 91, people. 91. Yeah, awesome. So last night, I'll give you an example. So that was a good clip, for sure. No question about it. But when we played it last night, it was about here. See that? And it's mostly because I think that it was Patrick Arceau's session, and he left at about 8 o'clock. And then the tempo went drastically up. Because Patrick is a Clare man, and the way they like to play the reels in Clare is not as fast as that. That's more of a, that speed I just played would be more of a Sligo or a Galway speed. And the people from Clare hate those people. So they wouldn't be ever getting near up to that tempo. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I think that's what happened last night. But so 91 is where we got there, guys. Now let's see if we can do the same thing with the Made Behind the Bar right now. Made. Oh, good. Came right up. I just love that. When you label your files properly, you get them right away. It's a wonderful thing. I've heard. Okay. Oh, what a great old tune. And you do need a bit of rosin, for sure. A really cool thing about Patrick is that he has this rosin, and it's the same brand, like he uses the same brand as me, which is this here is called Millant de Roux. See that? It's a French rosin. It's I find it to be the most forgiving, whether you're a driver or a very gentle player. It's in the middle. It's not the darkest rosin. You can see there. It's not. Well, you can't really see in this light, but it's not like as black as the Heidersign rosin. It's a little bit lighter than that, but it's got some grab to it. I've been using it for years. This is a fairly new one because I keep dropping them. You know, the way that a fiddle player uses his rosin is a real sign of the personality of the fiddle player. So my friend Jim McGee, for instance, he's a very kind of reserved man, unless he's playing the fiddle. He was an elementary school principal for like 40 some years. He's very patient, very soft-spoken, and his rosin, which is the Salchow from New York, also a very good kind of rosin, popular among classical violinists, but his is down to about a 1/4 of an inch thick. Very even all the way around. Like it's like every time he pulls it out, he turns it a bit and gives it a little bit more to get it nice. And he's had it, he said, for almost 40 years. Whereas my rosin is almost always new because I leave it places and I drop it. And when you drop your rosin, that's pretty well the end of it. It doesn't usually come back from that. But I was saying about, and then you got other personalities. My dad was a trench. He used to make a trench. Or you get some guys, my buddy Brian is the sign of the cross. But what was I saying? Yeah, Patrick's rosin is the same brand as this, but it's from 1921. And they say that the particular ingredients they used in 1921 made the best ever Millant de Roux rosin ever known to man. And him and his wife Julie were walking by a pawn shop in New York and they saw the tin, and they went in and they bought it, and they've been using it ever since, and he gave me a little lick of it yesterday. It's really, really neat. But then of course I wore it all off playing 110 beats a minute after he left. Okay, let's give it a go here, guys. Made Behind the Bar. We'll go not too fast. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, About 80. Where we stopped there. Not too bad, not too bad. How are we feeling about the Maid Behind the Bar? Is there any troubles being had? Claire, were you having trouble with your bow?
I just had to add some rosin there. I guess it got jealous when you were talking about rosin.
Yeah.
I played this for like 2 years or something, so it's very rusty.
Oh, it's rusty. Okay, well, we can go back with the tempo a little bit again. Because I can talk about a few ornaments I put in, and then we can go back a little bit with the tempo, so give people a chance to try the ornaments. But the rosin thing, it's kind of like yawning, you know? It's like contagious. You see somebody put some rosin on the bow, you're like, oh, you know what? I need some too. Yeah, I need some too. Okay, so let's back it up a little bit in terms of tempo. Let me tell you what I'm doing for ornaments. They're very simple, okay? And I think you guys can probably get them in. And it's like this. So first of all, lots of F sharp and A double stops in this tune. It's really good to do. Actually, when I go down on the D string, I play all that with the A string. See that? And then you got some double note grace notes. See that? So I play the two B's and the A in an up bow, and I put a little grace note between the B's. That's called the double note grace note, and that comes from pipers, because uilleann pipers have a continuous sound, and so rather than in a very cumbersome way stop their sound to make two B's, they just play one B and they put a little grace note in the middle, and it sounds like two. And it's a great Irish move. It's a very good one to have under your belt. I use it all the time. Like, for instance, in the second part. Now there I do it separately bowed. It changes the sound slightly. Now also, when I do the G to the E, I always do a triplet. See that? And then little grace note on that E there. More double note grace note. And more double stop to finish. Okay? So see if you can take a couple of those and get them in while we go a little bit slower so Claire can knock the rust off. Okay? Let's give it a go. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Nice on the last note there, Simone. They say first and last, the most important ones. Okay, so we had a few casualties on that last go, but I knew I was dreaming. I know. But let me see. So we got that was 100. So I pushed it a little too much. Okay. How are people feeling now? Even though it was going fast, anybody having little small successes here and there?
I'm just have a question. If you utilize that some of the like bowing that is written in, does that actually make it easier when you're going faster?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I don't. When I wrote that bowing in, that was strictly for an exercise, which I do suggest you do. You know, if you can stick to that bowing, it's the longbow style. It'll get under your arm, and you'll do it whether you want to or not. But yeah, if you took the passages of this, or if you just took the whole thing and bowed it that way, you're going to get through it a lot faster. Just watch me. See, I'll show you what I mean. You see how much less my arm is working? And if I did that regular... See, that is kind of like a lot more work of the hand. Now, not that I don't want you to be able to do that. Of course, you know, you should work on that hand bowing, which we talked about. But yes, if you did the longbow style, you're going to get through it a lot quicker. Yeah.
Dan, can there be too many grace notes and too much ornamentation? I'm thinking if you're playing with a couple of other fiddlers and everyone's doing their own thing, does it get to be kind of mashed up at times? So
with the ornamentation, it really I haven't heard it to be too much. You know, really. Some people consider, some people make judgments about how much ornamentation you're putting in, but I've never heard it be a problem with a group of players. It's kind of neat sometimes. It's like, for instance, me and my buddy Brian, we have slightly different ways of ornamenting tunes, right? And when we first started to play together fiddle duets, it was a bit rough, because of what you're talking about. But sometimes it can really, really work. And when you work it out with each other a little bit, they can kind of go one after the other. So like one guy will do something, then another guy will do something else, and it's really neat. See what I mean? Yeah. But they can, especially the double stopping can sometimes clash.
Yeah. At the ends of both parts A and B, just when you're coming to the D, that F just before it, I'm throwing in an E, a grace note, just getting, and I don't know, it just works for me, but I'm thinking, well, does that work for everyone?
Oh,
no.
No.
Does that muck up the tune for someone else if you're doing something like that?
Now, that's a really good question there, Jay. That's a really great question. And it's something I was thinking about yesterday, playing with this man from Clare, who does very not much ornamentation, right? Just a bit. And so when I'm doing that type of thing, I'm making decisions. One of the first things I decide that I'm not going to do is replace large sections of the melody with ornaments. That's one of the first things that I decide I'm not going to do that when I'm playing with this guy, because it's not of the style and it would mess up the tune. It would mess up too much of the melody for the people that I'm playing with, so I would decide not to do that. See what I mean? But then when I'm playing with my buddy Brian or some other people that are more adventurous, I would do that. Okay, so that's where I start. Like, so a little thing like a grace note, that's never a problem. I've never heard that to be a problem. But taking out a whole bar and doing, like, for instance, when I did that whole roll followed by a grace note thing, I would avoid big giant things like that playing with Patrick, because first of all, it's just not of the Clare style, and second of all, for that group of people, it would mess up the tune a little bit too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just because you speak of Brian often, is that Sandy's son, Brian?
No, Brian Tahany.
Oh, okay.
Sandy's son, Brian, I haven't played with in a while, but I did do a lot of playing with Brian. And I love the guy. He's a really, really great guy. But it's really funny because, like, he's been playing this music for years, but he doesn't really recognize it. you know? And so, for instance, so many times I'd play a set of jigs with Sandy that he'd been playing for the last, I don't know, since I've been playing with him like 10, 15 years. And we'd get finished, and Brian would say, "Geez, Dad, that was a great tune. I never heard that before." But what he really likes is playing Mustang Sally and stuff like that. No, but the Brian I'm talking about is Brian Tahany, who you know, his first instrument was fiddle, growing up in Sligo, and he plays all the fretted instruments, and he's a lot like me in the approach, very adventurous and messing around with the tunes a lot. Yeah.
Thanks.
Good question. Very good. Anybody else got any questions about me behind the bar? I did push it a little bit much, but we could try for the next time. We'll try for the 91 that we did with the other one. Okay, we'll try for that. Now let's take out the Wise Maid. You might notice that I have fewer pictures on my wall, and it's because these command strip thingies suck big time. It's the biggest rip-off ever. Like, I bought them because I didn't want to poke out all these holes in this rental, you know? Because the first time in a long time living in a rental. So I got all these command strips, and they just keep falling off. Like, every one. I'm going to end up putting nails in the wall anyway. I don't know why even there's a rip-off, just to let you know. Okay, Wise Maid. Oh, I love this tune. This tune also got played yesterday. Ooh, wipe off some of that. Wipe off some of last night's fun. There we go. So let's take this nice and easy. It's a handful. It's a lot of notes. Not too fast. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh, Susan's jumping out of the Zoom. Okay, how are we doing with the Wise Maid there, people? Anybody having any problems? What's that?
Just barely. Just barely keeping on with it.
Okay, let's slow her down. Let's slow her right down. Now, as we slow it down, there's a few techniques to think about, okay, that I'm doing here. First of all, I'm noticing when I play this tune that the hand bowing is very important, especially in that second part. See that? All with the hand there. That's going to be a really important part of playing this tune. And then the other thing is the bowing. So you can follow what's there if you want. Now again, that's another kind of exercise in the long bow style. But what you want to concentrate on is those rolls are going to be down bows. The F rolls are going to be down bows, and the E roll in the middle of the first part is going to be an up bow. That's what you want to really concentrate on for bowing. And then in the second part, you just got to remember your up-ups or you're going to be totally screwed. Going the wrong direction. So let's back her up in tempo quite a bit and we'll try her again. Okay. A 1, 2, 3. I'm watching people as we go along here, and definitely that whole hand bowing thing is going to be a big factor, because like I'm watching as we go into that second part and I'm seeing a lot of this here, And it makes it so hard. It really, really much harder with accuracy and speed to do it with your arm. Okay? So what I would suggest is taking those bits of the second part out. So that's going to be the 1, 2, third bar of the second part. And here, I'm just going to lower my camera a little bit so you guys can see my right hand a little bit better. There, that's better. And you can just loop it. Let's all do that together, and I'm going to watch your arms. Now remember, you can use... Whoops. You can use the doorway, put your elbow against something, use something like that to correct yourself if you need to. But let's just try, see if we can just try to do it, see what happens, okay? So this is the third bar in, and we're going to just do it 100 times. Ready, 2, 3, go. That's not too bad. You know, the other thing is that when you actually look at it and practice it, it usually goes much better. It's when the tune is happening that you kind of stiffen up, right? So that looked a little better, except that I did see lots of the usual, which is being able to go over to the E string like this, okay, but then when you have to go back to the A string, it's this instead of this. See that? Very common problem there. And remember, between the E and the A is a very simple angle change. E is straight up and down and A is out. A lot of the time you can get it just by thinking about that. Let's do it again. Same loop. Third bar, 300 times. 1, 2, 3, go. Is that getting a little bit smoother? Feeling a little bit better? Okay, good. Now let's take the next one, which is this. It's the same lick except lower. Okay, let's try that. Let's do that 100 times using only the hand if you can. Ready, 2, 3, go. How are we doing? We having a little success there? Now, Claire, your hand got progressively better as we went along. It started off going kind of doing the down bow thing and then just staying there, but then gradually I saw a little bit of this, and then last time through was much better. Okay? How's everybody else feeling? Starting to get a little smooth? You getting that feeling in your wrist there? That's great. Let's take that, go a little tiny bit faster. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's looking good. That's looking good. That's what's going to serve you. When this tune gets a little faster, that's what's going to make it smoother. I would put that down as the hardest part of that second part. Except for at the very end, you gotta do it once more. Now let's take that second part and run it. Okay? See if we can get it a little bit smoother as a whole. Okay, nice and easy. 1, 2, 3. Is it getting smoother? You think so? That's great. Okay, let's leave it. Let's leave the Wise Maid. You know what you have to work on to get it up to speed. It's mostly the arpeggiated bits and the fact that it's just got a lot of notes going on. Okay, that's the two biggest challenges of this tune. Any questions, problems, or concerns about the Wise Maid? No? Okay, great. Let's pick some jigs, shall we? Finish off the evening. Now, let's see. I think were we doing Cliffs of Moher?
Were we not doing Stool of Repentance also?
Oh, we were doing Stool of Repentance, right. And I gotta find a decent version for Claire. Let's see here. Stool of Repentance. Oh, it's very blurry. I see what you mean, Claire. Terrible shot of that tune. Same one there. Okay. Is this better? Ooh, that's much better. Okay, let me send you this one.
And I think you've also been promising us Morrison's.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a great tune. Okay. So, Claire.
Dan, would you mind sending me a clearer version of Stool of Repentance? Too?
Sure.
Mine looks like I've had a couple of too many glasses of wine. So, maybe I have.
Yeah, let's not rule it out. Okay, so there's Craig. And Diane, I'll send it to everybody just to be sure. Where's Jay? What is it? Jay, Earl. Okay, so I'll send that. And you gotta flip it though. That's the only thing. It's one of these flippers. There. Oh, I forgot it was Neil Gow. Forgot all about that. Geez, he wrote some good stuff, that fella. So did his brother. Okay. Stool of Repentance. So let me play it a couple of times, bring it back from the brink of forgetting it. All right, everybody remember that? Let's go slow. Get into the Scottish mood. Can you, do you need me to flip that for you, Claire? Because I know you might be on an iPad. I can also just share my screen. Okay, great. Awesome. So let's go slow. Get her back. Okay. A 1, 2, 3. Check it out and see how everybody's doing. How are we feeling about the Stool of Repentance? Does anybody repent ever starting it? How are you doing, Claire? The second part seems to be giving you some problems.
You know what? The real problem is I can't see with these glasses. If I get close enough to see it, I cannot. I'm too close to play because I hit something. And if I'm far enough to play, I can't see a goddamn thing.
Oh,
so,
no.
I can find a different pair of glasses. And if I can't, I'm just going to go to bed because I feel like a zombie right now. So I'm
Okay, good luck with the glasses, man. Good luck.
Yeah.
I went to the eye doctor for the first time in about 10 years the other day, and I thought for sure that she was going to be like, you need Coke bottles, you're terrible, because I feel like I'm doing this with the phone. But apparently it's just very minor. Like all I got to do is go to the drugstore and get 1.25 or 1.0, she said is probably more likely for just when I'm reading. Everything else comes out completely 20/20. I'm shocked. I can't believe it. And they even did the eye drop test. They put the eye drops in. Oh my God, I'd forgotten what that does to you. And me and the wife, we left the place. She had the eye drop test too. And we left and we couldn't even see the car in the parking lot. The two of us were wandering around looking for the car. It took us 15 minutes to find the car, tears streaming down our faces. My God, brutal test. Anyway, it looks like Claire had some success finding glasses. Look at that. Excellent. Let's give it a go. A little tiny bit faster, maybe. Poor Claire. We'll be done pretty soon anyway. I gotta put Sylvia to bed. Just try her a couple more times here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. little faster. Okay, everybody, that's enough torture for you for tonight, all right? We'll see you next week, and I'll send out a list of what we're going to work on ahead of time, okay?
Thanks, Dan.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Thanks again for changing to Monday. It's really awesome. Really appreciate it. We'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay,
Good
bye-bye.
session.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.